So this is my advertising video case study for my Unit 30 advertisement production for television. I plan to comprehensively explain the structures and techniques of television adverts with examples and subject terminology. I will present my findings by discussing the impact diverse commercials play within audience connection. There are different forms of advertisement. There is the realist narrative, which has a storyline that could very well happen in day-to-day life. This form of advertisement is very good with connecting the audience, as they can actually relate to what is happening in the commercial. Here we have an advert that parents can relate to, as their children can be running around all day and getting muddy, and the parents will have to find a solution to be able to clear it all up. And this personal advert provides a solution for the parents. Another form of advertisement is the anti-realist narrative. This is the type of advert that beats logistics and can never actually happen in real life. An example of an anti-realist narrative advert is the Heinz baked beans advert. It presents a group of astronauts on the moon battling it out with a monster. So this clearly doesn't happen every day, so it's an anti-realist narrative. The advantage of this type of advert is that it draws the audience in. They can be humorous as well as informative. Another form of advertisement is animation. This is a great way to present a narration that can't physically be acted. An example of an animated advert is the John Lewis Christmas advert of 2013. This storylined advert had to be presented as an animation, as it would be impossible to get a live grizzly bear giving a piggyback to a small bunny rabbit. John Lewis have given the two diverse animals personified emotions and features, which can only be logistically portrayed in an animation. Another form of advertisement is documentary style. This type of advert documents the truth and real-life experiences. It may also utilise the technique talking head, as people can be sitting in front of the camera talking about their experience. This type of advertisement is simplistically created but is very informative and can have a huge impact on the audience. There aren't fancy jingles or music playing through to attempt to persuade the audience, as the documentary style speaks for itself and cuts straight to the point. This anti-smoking advert is a form of advertisement done in the style of documentary. Another form of advertisement is talking heads. This is also similar to documentary. It consists of a medium close-up of a person talking about the product they're advertising. This is an example of a talking head advert made by Aldi. It's very simplistically created but does get the point across. The audience can compare two of the same products from different stores and see that the Aldi price is cheaper, and that is portrayed just by one person talking to the camera. Another form of advertisement is standalone. This consists with one narrative in one advert to promote a product. It does not include a series of adverts with an ongoing story, as it portrays the product in one advert alone. An example of a standalone advert is Galaxy Chocolates commercial with Audrey Hepburn in it. It does have the potential to create a series of commercials for that chosen narrative, but they have chosen to leave the story unfinished to mark the fact their product, Galaxy, is everlasting and doesn't require an ending. The last form of advertisement is series. This consists of a multitude of adverts expanding the narrative for the advertisement for their product. An example of the series technique used in advertisement is the compare the market adverts. This technique is brilliant at acquiring the audience's attention, as many people feel attached to series-based adverts like this one. Moving on to style of advertisement. There are many different styles of advertisements, such as humorous, surreal, dramatic, or parodic. Humorous. This style of advertising encourages audiences to remember the advert by creating a place in your mind for it to be stuck in. An example of a humorous advert is the Cadbury's Gorilla advert. The use of humour has enabled audiences from 2007 to link Cadbury's chocolate with a drum-playing gorilla. This is a great way to market products to a wider audience, as it gets shared around on social media for its amusement factor. Surreal. This style of advertisement enables the product to stand out from an increasingly crowded market. An example of a surreal advert is the Pepsi Max Asteroid. They have created a unique narrative to promote their product. They have presented an adventurous man willing to do anything to achieve the girl of his dreams at a bar, and when he succeeds, he celebrates with a Pepsi Max. This labels the Pepsi as a reward. Subconsciously, the portrayal of the rewarding product is now presented differently from an increasingly crowded market, all thanks to the surreal style. Dramatic. Dramatic adverts intend to shock the viewer by presenting the worst outcome if they don't abide by their advert. Adverts such as speeding limitations, drink driving, and health adverts are all presented dramatically to scare the audience into listening to them. They can be very effective. This advert is aimed at the hearts of the audience and pulls emotional strings to prove its point. Adverts such as speeding limitations, drink driving, and health adverts are all presented dramatically to scare the audience into listening to them. Parodic. This can take the underlying message of a genre and present it in a humorous manner by taking the mick. These intend to humour us. This helps the audience listen to what the advert is teaching because they are amused. It's the friendly approach to advertising. This parodic advert teaches young people to think twice about graffitiing property in a humorous way. It initiates by a breaking news headline, followed by a clown covered in paint to exaggerate the troubles of graffiti. Codes and conventions. Aids audience connection by these techniques. Camera shots. The use of a multitude of diverse camera shots engages the audience far more than static camera shots. Camera shots and angles can also alter the narrative. For example, this advertisement for St. John's Ambulance was filmed in a way that you believed the woman was the wife and mother of the man and boy outside, but then you find out they were in separate locations and had different lives. This emphasises the need for people to join their practice to make the world a safer place.
But what she can't do is be there every time.
Iconography. This is visual language of what you'd expect. Iconography is in some adverts used to create realism to the location. For example, this advert for Mophie phones is advertised in London and presents the London Eye rolling in the background, which makes the location and setting more realistic and therefore dramatic. Lighting. Lighting is one of the main factors that can completely alter the way advertisement is presented. In Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows trailer, the lighting and colours are mundane, dull, dark and sinister. This allows the audience to infer the narrative for the film would be dark and sinister. Editing. Editing can either create or decrease suspense, thrill, passion and emotion from the product. An example of the way editing can change the presentation of a product is in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows trailer. There is a montage scene that has a different shot every second. This increases the intensity and grasps the audience's attention because the screen is constantly changing. Sound. Advertisements generally have a discrete background sound and music to identify the theme of the advert and also to add depth to the sound. An example where sound has altered the presentation and audience connection of the advert is the Twinings advert from 2015. The carefree, lively and friendly song in the background presents Twinings as an enjoyable luxury. The music is uplifting too, which connects the audience with happy memories and happy thoughts. Mise en scène. Examples are adverts that communicate using its visuals. Setting the stage. The presentation of the location and setting is very important to communicate your product to the audience. Where props are placed in means of the setting can visually communicate your idea. In this Aldi advertisement, they have set 2 bottles of ketchup each side of an actor at the table. It is very simplistic but allows the advert to clearly show the comparison of both prices. Telling the story with visuals. Examples of these are adverts that don't have any dialogue or speech in them, they are just acting and music. This particular advert for Lloyds TSB Banking is an all-animated portrayal of a couple that meet on a train and get married, buy a house and have children. This is clear without dialogue because of the mise en scène and the graphics. Costume. Costume communicates a lot to the audience. It shows what type of people the product is targeted at, the history of the product, and also it can add to the aesthetic of the advertisement. This particular advert for Fairy Liquid initiates with an old-fashioned, aesthetically looking female holding the product, and completes with a modern-looking female holding the product. The use of costume has enabled the audience to infer the product, Fairy Liquid, lasts a very long time and has been trusted for centuries. Computer graphics. Adverts that incorporate computer graphics and editing have much more scope to what they can present within their advertisement. An example of an advert that uses computer graphics to increase the quality and to add scope to the production is the Skittles advert of 2007. The use of computer graphics makes the advert almost seem magical and is produced with movie-like special effects. Target audience. Advertisers pay for companies to find out when their particular audience is watching their program, and so they can advertise accordingly. Companies wish to find out the demographic, which is basically who the target audience is, and how old they are. Companies also wish to find out exactly how many people are watching their production via an audience measurement panel. The term is also relevant to practices which help broadcasters and advertisers determine who is listening rather than just how many people are listening. Measurements are broken down by media market, which for the most part corresponds to metropolitan areas both large and small. Ratings. Rating analysis provides a thoroughly updated presentation of rating industries and analysis processes. It serves as a practical guide for conducting audience research and offering readers the tools for becoming informed of audience information. Focus groups. Focus groups enable production companies the knowledge of particular individuals' opinions of the product. Focus groups can even include questionnaires to give out to the public, and they can receive other people's opinions of their product. Broadcasting audience research boards. This is the organisation that compiles audience measurement and television ratings in the United Kingdom. They are responsible for survey design, quality control and calculation methodology. The MORI's role is to survey the characteristics of the television-owning population, including an element of direct recruitment to the viewing panel. Techniques. Hidden/overt messages. These are adverts that seek to present a hidden or a very clear message, and they are most effective for the adverts. Social position. Many adverts use social position to encourage you to utilise the product they are advertising. An example of this technique is the Old Spice advert. It is aimed at men to encourage them to buy their aftershave so they can be more successful in their life and look and smell like a real man. Emotional association. Adverts that use emotional responses preys on our fears to encourage us to listen. This is a very effective technique because strong emotions are what cause many of us to act. An example of an advert that uses emotional association is the WaterAid adverts, which pull at our emotional strings and guilt us into taking action into helping their company. Celebrity endorsement. This presents a celebrity persuading you to buy the product. Adverts benefit a great amount from celebrity endorsement because the audience will witness their potential favourite celebrity and automatically desire the advertised product. This L'Oreal advert was a complete success as Cheryl Cole has a very long, soft, luxurious hair that many girls aspire to have. The ASA is the Advertising Standards Authority, which is the UK's independent regulator of advertising across all media. Their work includes acting on complaints and proactively checking the media to take action against misleading, harmful or offensive advertisements. Ofcom regulate the TV and radio sectors, fixed-line telecoms, mobiles and postal services. Ofcom's principal duty is to further the interests of citizens and of consumers, where appropriate by promoting competition. By the 1990s, there were major changes in television advertising. The typical hour-long programme contained up to 19 minutes of advertising space. The development of TiVo caused controversy because of its commercial skipping capabilities, and advertisers began to vie for viewers' attention by hiring popular actors and characters to star in commercials. The advent of television on the internet has allowed networks to continue their advertising online. And even though commercials have become shorter and more expensive, they have also definitely become more interesting.